over the next hour, an in-depth look at the big local, international and African stories that are shaping our world this evening. This is Tonight with Jane Dutton. Tonight, the crisis at the largest investor on the JSE, already riddled with corruption, now rudderless and leaderless after PIC's entire board resigns. This morning's promised news conference on the status of the investment company never happened. In fact, blanket silence from the man who needs to provide answers, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni. What's going on? We'll show you the web of corruption amongst the players there. Tackling corruption will dominate Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address on Thursday, and his progress in attracting nearly 300 billion rand in investment. Has he been able to deal with concerns raised by 5 of South Africa's biggest investors? We look at what's happened since that now infamous June 2018 letter to the president. Lassa fever is back in Nigeria. People there are suffering and some succumb to bleeding. Why is it so hard to control this rat-linked disease? Targeting the head of the NPA just 2 days into the job, and already the EFF has the new head of the corruption-fighting body in their sights, the party which built its reputation on fighting corruption. Julius Malema says he has no trust in Shamila Batoy. We ask, why won't they just let her do her job? What are the Red Berets frightened of? Former KwaZulu-Natal Hawks boss Johan Boysen believes he was pushed out because he was investigating the business interests of Jacob Zuma's son. Boysen's told the Zuma Inquiry how Edward Zuma paid him a visit. That was after Boysen froze a payout from the police to Zuma's business partner. Gervin Whittles has the story.
Johan Boysen is claiming Edward Zuma panicked after a 15 million rand payment from the SAPS to businessman Thorsten Pandey was halted.
A while after we had exchanged greetings, he indicated to me that there's an issue he had to discuss with me, and it related to the 15 million rand which I'd frozen. So I said to him, well, what's your interest in this matter? And he indicated to me that he was a silent partner of Thorsten Pandey, and that he was not getting his dividends because I'd frozen the money, and he would like me to release the money.
Boysen says he became suspicious when he received information about a conversation between Pandey and former President Jacob Zuma's nephew, Dibo Mzobe.
During this discussion, I will not repeat the exact words because they were not very nice words about me. I was being called a mafia leader, and they decided there and then, in the words that Dibo Mzobe used, is Boysen's wings will be clipped.
His testimony is meant to reveal how suspended Deputy Prosecutions boss Nomgcobo Jiba interfered in the case. Jiba's lawyers are arguing Boysen's testimony isn't providing any value.
What was the point of all that other than to provide some good theatre here for the media and for others?
Boysen's also detailing how Jiba instituted racketeering and murder charges against him, despite him not being implicated in witness statements. But her advocate says Jiba was within her rights to prosecute him. Gervin Whittles, Centurion.
Many Hoërskool Driehoek pupils are still recovering in hospital after sustaining serious injuries in a deadly walkway collapse at their school. 4 children were killed, over 20 injured. Yanke Tolme has more.
Pupils trying to comfort one another following the deadly tragedy. The school and surrounding community are still reeling.
Die een meisietjie het op haar sy gelê en ek kan nie haar uit my kop uit kry nie want ek kon haar nie help nie en alhoewel sy gevra het vir hulp. Ek was hartseer, ek was geskok.
But the physical wounds run even deeper. About 20 children are still recovering in hospital, many with critical and serious injuries.
We need to be honest. I mean, we're talking severe injuries here. We're talking, learners that landed in ICU, all of them. Some, went through surgery the day they, arrived at hospital.
The families of the injured have been posting updates on social media. It's understood a grade 9 pupil is paralyzed from her arms down. Others had to undergo major surgery. With broken ribs, pelvic bones and serious back and internal injuries, their road to recovery is likely to be long. Others will have to go back to school soon without the presence of their classmates and friends. Matrics are returning on Wednesday and the rest of the pupils will likely go back to class on Monday. Janke Tolme, Vanderbilt Park.
Durban University of Technology has suspended classes for Tuesday and Wednesday. The suspension comes after student protests earlier today. The university's SRC is calling on management to attend to students' issues, including financial aid, accommodation and transport. Management is expected to try resolve the situation with the students' leadership. Classes at UKZN, Mangosuthu University of Technology and the University of Zululand were also disrupted today. Supporters of Shepard Bashir have accused the state of targeting the Prophet and his wife. The pair appeared briefly in the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court in Pretoria. They're facing charges of fraud and money laundering. Tegohago Mwagi has been following the story and filed this report.
The prayers of Prophet Shepard Bashir's followers were not answered today. The enlightened Christian gathering leader and his wife remain in custody.
We only got today the passports that were requested from the defense. We only received them today, so there's still going to be a verification process that needs to be done. It's an investigation. People must not take this as if this is a personal attack to the Prophet.
But Bashiri supporters believe charges have been concocted to discredit the man they call Major One.
If Major One was someone who is from South Africa, they wasn't going to do this.
I'm out here to support my father, Major One, Prophet Shepard Bashir. But everything that is happening here, all the allegations that they're making about my father, everything that they are doing, they're just trying to chase him out of the country. Here we came because we saw the God of Major One. He has worked miracles in our lives.
Bushiri supporters have vowed to fill the streets of Pretoria during his next appearance on Wednesday. Pretoria.
Some trade restrictions are being relaxed amid the foot and mouth disease outbreak. Last month, the virus was identified in Limpopo's Vhembe district. It resulted in a provincial ban on meat exports to neighbouring countries. The virus is extremely contagious and affects livestock like pigs, cattle and sheep. Limpopo officials and police are working to restrict the movement of animals in affected areas. Culling isn't encouraged and 10,000 cattle have now been vaccinated. The animals can be sold and their meat is fit for human consumption.
Trade restrictions on the export of processed products have been relaxed by many trade partners. Trade in safe commodities to direct neighboring countries have largely been accepted.
Still ahead, what happens when the JSE's biggest investor faces crisis with no leader at its helm? And a plea to leave Venezuela alone. At least 1 million demonstrators say no to outside interference.